What it do, people? It's your boy Dre Day every day, and today I'm finna hit you with my second entry in my artist analysis series, and we're gonna talk about the rapper that is, to me, the greatest rapper of all time, hands down, and that's Lupe Fiasco. Now, before I get started, I want to throw a couple of things out there because Lupe is such an expansive artist, and he covers so much ground that I'm not going to cover everything in this video. I could make a 3 hour video about Lupe Fiasco and just begin to scratch the surface of everything that he is as an artist and a lyricist or whatsoever. So there are going to be things that will be left out. And for two, another thing is Lupe covers so much ground that there a person that say your mediums of entertainment choices are books and movies. Lupe Fiasco will appeal to you in that way, but a person whose medium choices of entertainment is video games and anime, they will take to Lupe in a completely different light because that's literally how far his range of references come from, and it's not even just limited to those things. So I'm saying that to say that I'm going to speak to you with how Lupe comes to me, because there could be a completely polar opposite fan of the type of mediums I consume that will talk about Lupe and feel like I'm leaving things out because I don't consume it their way. So I want to say that, and I know even to myself, if I me watching this from the future, it's probably going to be things that I've learned in between now and then that I'll look back and be like, dang, I left that out. But I just wanted to throw those out there really quick because Lupe Fiasco, it like what he does is unreal, right? When it comes to lyrics. And so what I'll start with is Lupe, he has a lot of tricks. Like Lupe Fiasco is he's pretty much a ninja. You know, he's grew up in the martial arts. He has black belt. I'm not familiar with the types of martial arts that he knows, but he has several black belts. You can read up on that yourself. And I believe he said he had his first black belt when he was 6. Might have been younger. I don't know, but like he approaches rap in almost like a ninja type of way. And Lupe, he plays with words a lot. So for one, a lot of people get lost when they listen to Lupe Fiasco. He's also the most discussed rapper that I've ever had. This the things that he does a lot of wordplay. I'm gonna try to give you a way to approach it. So first of all, Lupe Fiasco's tricks. Few things to keep in mind when listening to Lupe. He's comprehensive. So he likes to do, he likes to talk in opposites. So references like if he'll say something like a fish a fish in the sky, a bird in the water. He says he not that specifically, but he references things in an opposite type of way like that. He also he plays with literally almost every word that he speaks. Like if he says the word "the," he's gonna probably find a way to try to play with "the." And if you listen to the later lines or the previous lines, you'll see that you'll see what he's playing with. But Lupe really he makes you study. He makes you study him. He also treats you like you're the smartest person in the world, or just as smart as he is, because his range of reference is just ridiculous. Like, I have a few things here to where I'm going to go through some lines so I can just kind of show you how meticulous and how far out he stretches his bars and whatnot. But for me, I started with Lupe back in 2006, of course, when he debuted. And I will say that I missed a lot of his mixtape work from, say, 2006 all the way up to 2015, because I was actually so satisfied with what Lupe brought to the commercial world that I was like, I didn't feel like I needed mixtapes from Lupe. I was I was found out that I needed those because some of his mixtape work is better than his commercial work, a lot of it. And I feel like Lupe Fiasco's absolute, I won't even say that it's his prime, because Lupe is still in his prime right now. Like, he always finds a way to outdo himself. My personal favorite material that Lupe Fiasco released is between the years of 2013 and 2015, where he operated under the moniker of Dope Francis, and he had the Lucy's that started dropping after the Control verse from Kendrick Lamar came out, and the public reaction to that. And Lupe turned into like he went to like a level that was like 5 times higher than what he had already been at. And he was already what I feel like was out of reach. But anyway, so some of Lupe Fiasco's bars, you got to remember, talk in opposites. He plays with almost every word, or tries to. He also tells multiple stories simultaneously. He has characters that he has established in previous albums that metamorphosize into other characters later. It's a lot. But you keep to follow Lupe. He's gonna reference something that you consume, whether it's books, movies, TV, cartoons, video games, something from space, history, the ancient world, the occult. Lupe has something for everybody if you're down to do your due diligence and study. So I'm gonna break down a few Lupe bars, so to speak. I'm gonna start with like Mirror. Let's go. My personal favorite Lupe Fiasco album of all time, which is actually my favorite album of all time, is Tetsuo Youth. Tetsuo Youth. The brief summary of it. This is basically an album that it begins with the world being created, and then twin babies are born. At some point, one of the twin babies dies, and the other baby grows up to become the master builder. But it starts from the end and goes back to the beginning. This album is ridiculous. But Mural is pretty much that's the master builder. That's the complete climax of the entire album. This is that baby that was born that didn't die, and he also constructed this song like a mural, because murals are big wall size painting, even bigger. And he talked about how he wrote like the first 20 bars to get it started, and then every day until he finished it, he just laid a few more lines, whether he possibly laid 10 Tuesday, laid 20 on Thursday, laid another 30 on Saturdays, something to that matter. But he has bars for days in there. Here's my favorite lines in there. He says, my rap position was black conditions and activism, ammunition for abolition, missions attacking systems, but they're not apt to listen unless it's dropping on Activision. That's Oh, and that's another thing. Lupe has some of the absolute hardest quotables out of any rapper. His figures of speech, I don't, I just don't think that when it comes to what this man can do with words, it's some other rappers that are really good with wordplay, but with milking one sentence and the volume that one sentence can have and multiple meanings. One, because our language, our English language, we have words that have up to 10 and 14 meanings, and he literally knows how to say a sentence and damn near get about five meanings out of one sentence. Another bar from the what's it? Piece of Paper, Cup of Jesus. Now, Piece of Paper, Cup of Jesus, he put that out after the Control verse, and that was kind of like I don't even know. That was just kind of like, you guys are impressed with this. Let me show you what real rap is. And this came out in 2013. Now he has a line in there where he says, "Some critics say I fell off. I acknowledge I slipped. What you call falling from space into a bottomless pit." Now, what's cool about this bar to me is that when he said, "Critics say I fell off. I acknowledge I slipped. But what you call falling from space into a bottomless pit," he dropped this in 2006. This dropped in 2007, which is a cool. 2011, which is Lasers, and this is 2012. This is all the way up to that point. This is Food and Liquor 2. Falling from space into a bottomless pit, and he's talking about his progression through his own discography. And when I said that, it actually took me. It was one day I was just randomly listening to it, and I thought about these, and I thought about it up against his albums, and I just was blown the fuck away. Like, you mean to tell me that this dude ran you through his albums, but he's also just kind of talking about how he operates in his own space? That was insane. Um, what else? What else could I bring up? Another thing about Lupe is he has multiple forms. You know, the Dope Francis is my personal favorite. I also think that Lupe is a tremendous rap rock artist. Like, that's some of my favorite songs of his, or the songs that he rapped over rock inspired production, rock inspired songs. Like, even, and he started it with his first album. These have went under the radar. Maybe not to his fans, but I just haven't heard many people speaking of Lupe's rap rock side. You know, like on the first album, there were traces. Like, my favorite song on the first album is American Terrorist. And what won me as a fan is in there. He says, just imagine an American-based Christian organization planning to poison water supplies to bring the second coming quicker. Nigga, I was like, that was so profound to me at the time, and that was like really some of the most profound probably one of the most profound bars I had heard in rap up until that point, because I had never thought about the concept of a terrorist Christian organization. Man, that. But as far as the rap rock, that song has rock sentiments, and the song, the instrumental. So, you know, there are traces of Lupe's rap rock all the way back to his first album. The Cool, his second album, which is my second favorite Lupe record. He has what is that? That Hello Goodbye is definitely that's a rap rock song. Uh, yeah, that's the only one that pretty much stands out to me as a rock song. And then he had the Lasers album, where he lost a lot of his fans. Well, his commercial fans falling off him because that album was like a completely different direction from his music. I guess the label they looked at the success of Superstar, and they were like, hey, we want more records like that. And Lupe was like, hey, I want to create what comes from the heart. Now, there are a lot of people that diss Lasers, and I will say that Lasers' weight up against Lupe's work is weaker, but you could take Lasers out of Lupe's catalog and put it in another rapper's catalog, and that's instantly that rapper's best album by far. And another thing about Lupe is he never talks about bullshit. He's always speaking of something relevant. What it is, how he speaks about it, you may have to do a lot of figuring, but he's always speaking about something relevant, something that is intelligent. He does not put what we would label as bullshit out into the game. Lupe really works your ear, he works your mind. And you know the song he made, Dumb It Down, like, yeah, he has not dumbed it down. He just challenges you to figure it out. I know people that go along with it to figure it out. There are people that just kind of put it down like, oh, this is too much. Let's get to these 2013 releases. Records like Animal Farm, records like Light Blue, Dot 97, records like, what else released in this time period? Hold on, I got my iPod here. I don't even know why I'm drawing a blank. I listen to this stuff so much. Yeah, Light Blue, Animal Farm, Bone, SLR3, Piece of Paper, Cup of Jesus, Thorns and Horns. These records, the records that he was releasing leading up to Tetsuo Youth, and I even got the crazy thing about it is when he released these records and then the actual commercial releases, he had Mazinger Z. Next to it, he got a song called Pussy with Billy Blue. All of those, I was like, okay, man, I was thinking Lupe's finna come pretty hard with this next album. Then they released the track listing for Tetsuo Youth, and I didn't see none of those songs that he had released. And I got upset. Like, oh, we finna get hit with another Lasers. Boy, was I wrong. Yeah, this released January 20th, 2015, next to Joey Badass's Before the Money. Also, 2015 is the absolute greatest year in hip-hop releases ever, in my personal opinion. It's another conversation. But what this album came to be, I might make a separate video where I just break down this individual album. And that might be a thing, too, where I break down albums. But let's go to Animal Farm. I'm going to take one of the lines that he said, how he starts off, and I'm going to show you how to look at how extensive his wordplay can be. And we have a co-star, my favorite Ninja Turtle, Raphael. And the reason why he made this reference is, the reason why I brought Raphael up is because he made a Raphael reference. So peep this. He starts the very first verse off where he says, quiet as a kitten, reply silent as a Raphael giving instrument for sticking. Or maybe riot as a lion, woody tie and tiger for attention, tigers and pools, niggas and Jews, Mr. Opulent, Christopher Robinson like, reverse alike, or that predetermined term expires on that turtle's knife. Now, silent, this is called a sigh. Now, when I told you how he tries to play with every word, reply silent, he was saying the reply was silent, but silent, like if Raphael let you borrow his sigh, it would be silent, Reply silent as a Raphael giving estimate for sticking, or maybe ride as a lion, Woody Ty and Tiger for attention, Tiggers and pools, niggas and Jews, Mr. Applet Christopher Robinson too, reverse alike, or that predetermined term expires on that turtle's knife. See, that's a bar that legit went over my head for years because I wasn't thinking about it in the sense of him saying silent, but that's an example of Lupe's his over the top wordplay. Another bar that I love that he has on a song called as a matter of fact, this is all the way back in 2007, the Revenge of the Nerds. What he say? Mercy, he's a mess, so immersed in his murk. He's 2/3 submerged below the surface where they surf. This is where I lay you down like a bird giving birth. That's not the part I'm trying to reference. I'm a Texas T haters is so screwed, but I can't feel it like a flathead in a Phillips. Don't get it twisted, nigga. I'm no tool, more cool than a pool in a blizzard with ice cubes in it during Christmas, meaning there's no school in the misfit. That's one of his earlier bars that's still harder than so many bars that I've heard a rapper say. That when we talk about when he says a flathead and a Phillips, for those that don't know, the two screwdriver types is the flathead, which is the subtraction sign for the screws that have the subtraction sign, and the Phillips for the screws that have the plus sign, to make it simple. So if you put a flathead in a Phillips screwdriver, that it might work, but it doesn't fill the entire void. So he said, I can't feel it like a flathead in a Phillips. Don't get it twisted, nigga. I'm no tool. When you use a screw, you twist it. More cool than a pool in a blizzard with ice cubes in it during Christmas, meaning there's no school in the misfit. So, during the Christmas holidays, everyone's on Christmas break. And the misfit, which would be the flathead and the Phillips, also saying he's a misfit. And there's no, during Christmas, there is no school. The misfit, the flathead screwdriver, Lupe Fiasco being a misfit. Yes, just that right there. It's the way he builds. It's crazy. He does this a lot. So if you have your ear trained to listen for the word plays, think about some of him talking in opposite. Let me try to find you some instances of him talking in opposites. What is this on? I think Sun God Sam. Compose yourself like a self-aware opera conjurer in a zone like Sonic to produce me a sign of the end time to make profit off of t-shirts and monetize all the research and leave Earth feet first. Now, funny thing about leaving Earth feet first, I've thought about this two different ways. If you're leaving feet first, that means you're going out this way. But another thing too is if you leave Earth feet first, your feet are really going to be the first thing to leave the ground. So it's really it's actually a two-sided metaphor. But let me see what's another. Let me see. Read my lips, clarinet, talk that walk, pair of steps, 2 shots, parachutes, new drops, wearing roofs. New drops, wearing roofs. I can't think of that. He said something like, pair me, put me in the air and shoot. Heirlooms, that's what I leave. Heirlooms, that's what I need. I can't think of those. I can't think of that line right now. But Lupe just has so many different tricks that he does when it comes to making bars. And this is not even touching the storytelling. This because Lupe will make a song and be telling 5 stories simultaneously. That's his story. Lupe is, my personal opinion, the greatest storyteller there is, the greatest bar for bar rapper there is, the greatest range of reference rapper there is. And even if you follow Lupe from the first album all the way up to now, excuse me, his songwriting has even improved. He's from even from Food and Liquor 2 to Tetsuo on Youth. You know, there was a certain elegance that came into Lupe's music when he put out Tetsuo on Youth. Like on a song he has Prisoner 1 and 2, and the hook says, love is looking over various errors, and hate is habitually accelerating terror everywhere but the mirror. And it was like, love looking over various errors, hate habitually accelerating terror everywhere. That right there is another, he took those words and turned them into acronyms. And then coming into what Drug is Like came in between Drug is Wave, but Lupe spoke about owing his record company another album. I like Drug is Wave. I like Drug is Light myself a lot, but it's not as lyrically dense as Tetsuo on Youth or the following album, Drug is Wave. But he has that song, what's this in Drug is Wave, where he's, what is the beat? It's the, Allen Forever. The elegance of, I wish I could play it over so you could hear it, but it'll get copyright claimed. But you could go and check these songs out yourself. But Lupe, he does so much with music, so many different things that he pulls from, whether it's video games, movies, regular life. Then he talks about street shit. He doesn't glorify it, but he talks about street shit, growing up in the hood. It's literally something to like for every type of hip hop fan there is. The thing is, you just have to be willing to figure it out and just ride with it. What does he got on Thought 97? He had, what do you say, turned when I was 18. Had to start attack when I was 25. Nigga had the 9 at 14. It had the Super V when I was 29. And I keep 30 and a 34. And I can hit the 10 like 20 times. Nigga had the 50s by the twos. And you can count the 10 like 20 times. When he got to the nigga had the 50s by the twos, you can count the 10 by 20 times. He was just basically, that's a long way of saying he got $20,000 in his pocket. And that's kind of on par with a lot of rappers when they come out. When they first be out, they be walking around with like $10,000-$20,000 in their pockets at once. Just little stuff like that, man. Lupe he's gonna make you think. He's gonna challenge you to think. If you listen to music for simply energy, if you listen to music for simply vibes, Lupe is not much in the realm for that. But if you listen to music and you care about content, what word meanings, another discussion that I have is there are people that feel like rhyming words is more lyrical than what the actual words mean. And my personal opinion, rhyming words is just rhyming words. That would be like saying, I got the blickety. I got the blickety. It would be saying like that's saying more than somebody who says I got a Glock and it go pop. I got the blickety flickety, or I got a Glock to go pop. Just because there are more syllables rhyming, in theory, if the words don't mean anything of significance over single syllable words, you're not saying anything more. Because, like I said, I approach lyrics from word meanings, that perspective, not sounds, so to speak. But yeah, man, Lupe Fiasco, definitely, he's gonna challenge your ear, and for he rewards the people who actually do their due diligence and go through it with him. He'll rap a whole verse in context clues, and he'll try to lose you, but you gotta stay with him. With like metabolize on the scatter snare with the banana pies that he don't like mosquito bites on the shins of ankles and the end of bends. Let's begin to pretend it's tranquil. Upset stomach on the boat, the lucerne, the sea, the lion, carved in the wall by the pond to commemorate the soldier dying over old defiance. And yeah, he's just gonna hit you with that, and you just gotta deal with it. Man, it's so much more that I want to cover about Lupe, but like I said, I can make a 5-hour video and just start scratching the surface on this. I wanted to put this up, kind of give you, for those who are uninitiated, try to give you a little how to listen to Lupe, what tricks he likes to do. Oh, another thing, like when I talked about 50 Cent, I mentioned that 50 Cent goes, he has the best first verses. When it comes to Lupe really does not have a particular verse that he goes hardest in. I mean, like he has so many different points of attack. Certain songs, his first verse is the most potent. Then his songs, his second verse. Then some is the third. Yeah, like everything about Lupe is just literally reminds me of a ninja. And like I said, just these points that I put out here, I'm just trying to lay a foundation of kind of, for somebody who doesn't understand how to look at it, this is how to get into it. Man, I have not touched on the stories he's told. This is, would it be like 1/4 of what Lupe Fiasco is? And I'm looking at my timer, it says 31 minutes. But yeah, I'm just putting this out here to, like I said, for those who are maybe a little bit lost, or the people that follows Lupe and they may have missed some of those things. That what he does with rap, what he does with language, what he does with stories, it's just completely unmatched. You may find a rapper who you like his voice better, you like his beats better. That's completely subjective. But when we're talking about what words mean, range of reference, man, if you take all of your favorite rappers and their lyrics to the library, Lupe Fiasco is going to have you in almost every single section of the library trying to get this stuff together. And not saying that there are not rappers that won't send you further in the library, but Lupe is gonna come. Lupe is gonna have you in the library. You're gonna have your cell phone out. You may have to go. You're gonna have to go to libraries that doesn't exist. You have to pull up the Akashic records. Like Lupe Fiasco is just. He's just out of any rapper that I've studied. His wholeness, being comprehensive, his details. Yeah, he's the rapper he'll rap a song about a beach and rap it from the. Oh yeah, that's another thing. When he tells his story, he tells stories from multiple perspectives. He's gonna tell a story about the beach. He's gonna rap from the birds' perspective, the people's perspective, the water's perspective, the sand's perspective. It's just, at some points you could say it's too much. For a more casual listener will say, "Man, that's just too much for me." It's cool, but like I said, when we have the discussion of who was the greatest rapper, from my perspective, I look at words and what they mean. Some people might be like, "Oh, well, can you make this more palatable?" It's like, whatever the case may be, we take what these words mean and what goes further than what this can be measured. And there's just not any rapper that does more with words. But yeah, when next time you listen to some Lupe, oh yeah, I'll leave you with my favorite projects, of course, Tessalon Youth. And that same year in 2015 put out Pharaoh Height 230. The Cool, my second favorite mixtape. Friend of the People, I Fight Evil. Listen to Drogus, Wave. But if you're just getting started, If you don't know much of Lupe, definitely start with Food and Liquor and the Cool, because he rapped less cryptic, so to speak. Like Lupe is at a point now where he could freestyle a song that he would have written on one of his first two albums. Like his style is so advanced that raps that are just like in that are not in context clue format, he can just freestyle those. He went on a tear in 2021 when him and Royce had back and forth. He released like 14 to 15 songs on Instagram. They're on YouTube too. It's pretty much, in theory, it's a mixtape. You just didn't call it one. But yeah, that guy's a monster. Oh, and if Lupe, if you watching this, if this somehow makes it to you, I saw you're gonna release drill music in Zion, and you said that you're everything is canceled except for Skulls. Skulls is to be determined. I need that. I need you to release that joint, and release it to the public, because I know Lupe is cool enough to he get in contact with me and send me the album. I need you to put it out for the world can hear this and see that you, even if it's after Lupe probably won't be appreciated for what he is until he passes, which is how things work. But I need that Skulls. The world needs that Skulls. But yeah, man, get you some Lupe Fiasco on your deck. Sit down with it, study it, and when you start figuring out his tricks, then go revisit other albums. And another thing too, shoot, go back. You go back and listen to Food and Liquor or The Cool, and you'll hear stuff that's relevant to today, and you'll be like, damn. Like, so Lupe's music ages well too. So, but yeah, I'm gonna cut this short right here because, man, if I start going into any other aspect of it, yeah, we're gonna be looking at an hour. And like I said, this I just haven't found any other rapper like Lupe Fiasco. But that's all I got for it, man. Get you some dope Francis in your deck. Peace.